Hello, everybody. This is Barry Brooks with Brooks Gold Mine down here in Austin, Texas. I'm going to go over something real quick. I'm not going to leave a long one unless I get a lot of guests on, but I'm starting this without any guests. I just had an idea popped in my mind, and it says, Who is stuck in their business? What I'm saying by that is you've got something started, you haven't really made any money yet, or if you even made money, you're stuck at a limit where I had a coach I was just listening to today, and he hit me over the head with something I wasn't even thinking about. A lot of people make a goal, and some people say 5,000 a month, some people say 10,000 a month, but they don't really go very much higher than 10,000. And the question is why? I mean, is that too big to dream for anything above $10,000? I've seen a lot of wealthy people. They make that a day. Some people even make that almost an hour. So there is no limit to what you can make. It's just how far are you willing to go to really get to your level that you're dreaming for. I'm not saying I want to be the richest man in the world. I don't want to be even close to being that rich. Being a millionaire today in the United States is not really that much money. It's a lot, but you're not free. You cannot walk away from your job and never work again the rest of your life. It will end up being years later, if you're just living natural, less than 10 years, you'll probably spend it all. Because some people, it's a funny thing. If a person has $1,000, they spend it. If you give them $10,000, they find a way to spend it. You give them $100,000, somehow they spend it. They have no idea of how to save and invest their money. I don't want to be your coach on that. I mean, I will if people are willing to step up, and if I have enough people ask for it, I will step out and I'll show you what I have learned. Investments is one of the best things you ever can do. And it's not called a bank. It's not called a broker at an agency where you're giving your money over and letting people take care of you. That's not needed anymore. We have technology and we have companies now that have destroyed themselves. They really have said, look what we can do and look what we can do. This last 20 years, more people have gone broke trusting big companies. So what I want to do real quick is I'm going to step out and I'm going to ask you a question. Do you understand what money really is? Are you working for it, or is the money working for you? That's the question. I'd like you to think about that for a moment. And the bottom line is, why do people not understand what money really is? It's so amazing. We go to elementary school, we're not taught anything about it. We go to junior high, no idea what money is. We understand numbers. You go to junior high, nothing really teaches you how to manage money. You go to high school, nothing was added there, just more numbers and math. Maybe science, history, nothing to understand it, nothing how to use it, nothing how to invest it. Then we go to college and get a degree. How many people in college learn anything about money? They learn how to get, to my opinion, more in debt than what they're going to be making in their job. Colleges have gone out of control. We have people that will go for education, and one moment they think, oh, this is going to be so good and it's going to make me free in the future. By the time they graduate, they have such a debt so big that their job will never really help them pay it off. So they'll be in debt most of their lives for going to education. So let's look at the people that I look at, like Bill Gates, Michael Dell. Just those two alone. I can name some more, but I'm going to be very generous and not push too many names out there. Let's just look at those two. Or Steve Jobs. If you're an Apple lover, you'll love this. Steve Jobs even admits he went to college, didn't make no sense to him because everything they were teaching was nothing to make him improve his life on what he was dreaming to be. So he went out there and built a corporation and a company on his own with his own friend. He didn't have all the answers. He really didn't know what people wanted, but he found what people needed and created that. That's all I'm trying to help you right now. That's why most people are stuck. We keep on trying to sell or give away things that customers don't really need that bad. I mean, they might want it, but they don't understand what their product is they're buying. Uh, if you're a car salesman, I believe that's one of the best things for anybody to learn. Not long term, just a short term, a couple of months, or just at least a 1 month. Seeing how people react when you try to give them what they're asking for, it's amazing. People are scared to death of car salesmen. They think everybody's trying to con them into something, and most people I've seen that sell vehicles just don't get it. They don't understand why the customers are there. They try to force them into buying a vehicle. If they would turn around and just answer questions the customer's looking for and give them something at a great price, or if it's a little over their budget, at least explain why it's over their budget and what can they do to really get that in the future. You know, where do you start at? We all don't have to have brand new cars every day. I probably will never again buy a brand new car, because the moment you buy it, you lost at least 30 to 40% of its value. The moment you start the car and drive it off the lot, it's collapsed, the dollar. That's why I'm into collectors. Very, very wanted cars. Some of the 50s, 60s, and 70s, those vehicles are worth more, probably almost 10 to 20 times more than they cost the day they were brand new off the lot. Things like that are great investments. One of my favorite people that I've followed is Warren Buffett. He is a very genius man. He does not buy new cars. He's not into fancy mansions, and he's one of the richest men in the world. Let's go into this. I don't want to get off the subject a little bit. I'm sorry I jumped away, because I learned a lot. I lost a lot of money trusting my broker. I thought my friends were there and trying to help me understand how to live a good life and work a regular job and then have money in the back, in the bank, just taking care of me if I needed any help. Well, they put me more in debt than I ever could have made in any job. I mean, if I just would have just set it under my pillow or put it under my bed, it would have been a lot safer than putting it in with a broker. It just blows my mind as how much I was ignorant and didn't even know it. I trusted the government. I trusted my schools. I trusted my friends, and I still did not understand the rules of the game. There's an old famous saying, why do the wealthy get rich and why do the poor stay poor? That is something I want you to know. That's why a lot of businesses, you get stuck. We got a new guest, Tom. How you been doing? You can jump right in and ask. We got Tom. I'm recording right now. I might turn this off in a minute, but I'm just giving my 2 cents to people to understand most businesses today, they can't really make it because they try to sell what they want. They try to make customers buy what they have. Here's Tom trying to get on. Let's see if this happens.
Don't know where
well, back to the story is, if you would change that, and if you would first do your homework, find out what customers are looking for, find out what customers really are willing to buy, and then just be that store that carries what they're looking for. Like right now, if you want a mobile phone, who is some of the hottest companies out there? Of course, Apple. You can't compete with that. I mean, it's going to be sold if you want to or not, so why not be part of that?
There we go.
So let's go in there. Hey, Tom, how you been doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm just out here trying to give my 2 cents to some people to understand what not to do that most young generations and old people don't get about understanding your business.
Right.
What is it for? Yeah.
What is it that you do?
Well, I am now a coach and a mentor teaching people how to change their sales. If you have a product or if you want to become somebody, how to brand yourself.
Right.
It's not really all about you, but the deal is anybody that wants to sell anything, you got to have some trust. People need to know you, like you, and trust you. So you got to go out there and give yourself a little bit of sense, because I don't sell these $40 or $100 deals. We sell up to $10,000 up to $50,000 coaching stuff. And I can't sell that if I don't have something to brag about. I need to have some bragging rights. So I'm not bragging and saying I'm anybody yet. I'm building myself up, but everybody I have above me is they make at least 10 times more than I ever made in my life. So I'm never going to listen to somebody below me again. That's what I did in my past. And that's why one businesses I was involved with never really went anywhere. They get stuck in a hole. They would make 100,000. 10 years later, they only make 100,000 in a year. They just can't make any more. They don't get it. They can't get out of that box.
I think maybe a lot of the times too is they've set an objective. I think people think that they're worth that 100,000 and they don't want to go above it. For me, I don't want to think of money as money. I mean, to me, it's just a vehicle to get to where I want to in my life. Mm-hmm. And I have like a lot of things I want to do. I've got plenty of dreams. I think if I were to brand myself personally, my skill set's more along the lines of something like a creative visionary, because I like to look at other people's products. I like to look at something new that they've made and give them insight, because I can always see something to do better with it, something new that can happen with it. And I don't want people to pay for that. I mean, maybe one day when I'm worth it, which I am, but I mean, maybe one day when.
Well, you could do something you're not thinking about. Don't get paid up front. Get paid royalties of how many they sell.
Yeah,
maybe
you can add really that. Good. That's what I was thinking. Like if people like those specific designs, they like the ideas I give them, the new templates, then that could be something that could generate income. But for the most part, I'm more concerned with their business actually being successful. I don't care that I'm getting paid out of it. I care that I got to put my idea on something, that my vision is out there. So
let's talk about somebody like Steve Jobs or Bill Gates. Sad Steve happened to pass away, but if you noticed, he became so wealthy, he wasn't working for money anymore. They didn't need the money, and they weren't really ever after the money. The money just gave them that authority to do whatever they wanted to do, Yeah. And then they created stuff. Where would we be without them? I'm not giving them like royalty too big, but honest truth is we wouldn't be where we are. We probably wouldn't even be on the internet talking right now if it wasn't them that helped start this momentum. Somebody had to start something. And we're the generation that sort of come along, especially the people in the 20s and 30s. I have no idea where y'all are going to put us, but it's going to be another level. If they're going to dream like Steve Jobs and them did, just imagine where we can be in the future. I'm
definitely hoping we have more dreamers and workers, honestly, that want to put forth the effort to change tomorrow, because today's rough. It's not easy for people in my generation, because we're still being taught by people from the generation where they said, go to college, get a good job, and have something steady working for you. And that's not the truth anymore.
That's what I was talking about right at the beginning. I'm not against college in a way, but the truth is almost anybody that goes to college today, you're going to be in more debt than you'll make at your job by the time you graduate. And it'll take you forever to pay it off, because they're not high dollar. Colleges don't really give you high dollar jobs.
No, they don't.
They give you maybe $50,000 to $100,000 a year, maybe.
If you're lucky.
Yeah, if you're lucky. And not very many people take that. And what I'm telling people, you can go on the internet and spend a third of that and learn from coaches and people like me. We'll teach you how to make more money than your college would ever teach you in less than 1 year. And you'll be debt free. You'll keep on paying. I tell people, never stop going for education. Pay it. At least 10% of your profits. I tell people, give it and help somebody. It's really going to help you inside. But another 10% out of that, at least go for your own education. Pay for it every year. Never stop learning. Because you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Internet is changing every moment of the day. Something new is coming along. Some new software. Somebody created something different we weren't thinking about. Like, look at Facebook. Who thought? I knew it was going to be big, but who thought that is going to be the new future? Because that's where everything is going to be sold. They're fixing to start doing products. They now have over 1 billion people following that. There's more people outside of the United States in it than there is in the United States.
Right. And I think it's funny that originally the Facebook platform just started off as a dating site. You could go in there and look at people that you think were attractive, almost like Tinder originally. Yeah. But then, like, from there, it just exploded into something that it is now. So,
well, it was bragging. Everybody wanted to brag. Look who I am in college. Look who I can be in college. It was all about brag, brag, brag. And it sort of, look where it's came. It's no longer a kid's world anymore. It's became more of a business. I see things left and right out there selling nonstop every day. Google is another one that caught me off guard. I knew Google was going to be big, but I had no idea Google really was going to be in control of almost 90% of the advertising on the internet.
And it's almost in control of the internet itself. I mean, when you log on, very few people want to search for anything using like Bing and Yahoo. I mean, it's Google this and Google that. So
Well, it's just became a brand, sort of like Apple. Apple made a phone. Maybe not everybody loves it, but dang, they did good. There's people that will never leave Apple.
right,
They worship Apple.
and exactly. Man, I like that. I do my own entrepreneur stuff, working with a network marketing company that helps people basically in a similar way that you do. But I'm sure your coaching and mentoring is really good. I'm not
Well,
saying
let's go over this. Let's go. I want to help you on something real quick. I'm trying to figure out how old you are. You look like you're about 24.
yeah, 27 going on 8.
Okay, you still got that young. That's good, man. Take it while you got it, man. I just hit 49. I have no idea where my time went. So I was the guy that helped Michael Dell when we first started building computers before we even had 1 million. I was there and got the first 1 million computer made.
Nice.
And that was not that big. People don't realize we thought that was big. Shoot, he does that almost a couple of weeks now. I mean,
Yeah.
it's crazy. It just amazes me sometimes to see how things just get so big we thought would never really take off. But you never know. That's the question. You never know. Blab, I don't know when it's going to take off. It's sort of getting known, but it's not really known very big yet. I believe this could be one of the first generations that's going to change history, just like YouTube did, and so did Facebook, to where how many people now can come and just talk and see each other. I mean, Skype did okay, but you're limited. You couldn't grab
Limited to the person you're talking to, basically.
Yeah. You can kick them off. You can record it. You can do anything. So right now, take it while it's free. I mean, this costs nothing. It would in college to do something like this back in the 90s or early 2000s. This would be outrageously expensive, So
Yeah. And if I can get some of my friends from Facebook and people I know, that would be great to get them onto Blab, because like my Facebook's not huge. It's only got like about 350 people maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all people that I met mostly in person. So like to bring them on and bring in more and more people, like I like the aspect of the way that you can connect with people here that you can't connect with people on Facebook, because it's easier to gauge someone if you're meeting them in a face-to-face scenario almost. And if you're doing business, things like that, it's way better. And it's the potential to maximize the amount of people you expose it to is higher. And I like that. So,
all right.
I do like to see where this is going to go and when it's going to take off. But yeah.
Well, there's still a game. I'm going to talk about something that you can almost understand. People today, anybody from the age of birth till the age of 30, you're in a generation to where you have so much in front of you that people never even knew information was that big. And it confuses us in a way because everybody's saying, oh, we don't know what to do. And you have everything you want to know is right in front of you. I mean, you understand? I mean, they're saying it's so complicated and it's so hard. But the truth is it's not really that hard. It's just, do you know where to focus?
Yeah, it's overwhelming, honestly.
It's like, have you ever been to a grocery store and it used to be just a Coca-Cola and a Dr. Pepper and maybe 7-Up. That's it.
Yeah.
Now you go, how many different drinks are there? Unlimited, just monster lines of different drinks. How do you know what to pick? There's too many to choose from.
The growth in things has made it. It's made it so hard to be decisive now, because there's so much stuff and it's like just background noise. It's white noise, and the only way to actually focus and succeed now is just to be able to tune all that out and power on. So that's what I've been trying to do. I've been trying to look into extra areas to make income. I like the network marketing model. I do a few different ones simply because not everyone can buy in to, like, for instance, I do Legal Shield, and not everyone can promote that from the ground, because I mean, like a sign up fee is close to $300. So who has that? That's a paycheck for some people who has just a paycheck to spend towards, I mean, what's potentially their future, but no one wants to have that 2 weeks
it's a good thing. I'll go into something real quick. That's a good thing, but it's also a bad thing at the same time. Who's really in charge? It's not you, it's the company, right?
True, true.
It's like a multi-level marketing deal.
It is multi-level marketing, and I'm
And
just using it basically as a
no, but I mean
vehicle. I
they're
know someone
good.
else is in charge.
Multi-level marketing are great to learn, but don't depend on it the rest of your life, because I've been in more than one and a lot of them made me money, but every one of them are gone.
Yeah.
It sucks. One of them was so good that it never was going to collapse until they sold it to a football pro, and the guy just didn't understand business, and he destroyed almost a 20-year business. He destroyed it in less than 12 months.
What was this?
Oh, that was Nutrition for Life International. That was back in our good days.
Sounds familiar.
Uh,
I remember something along the lines of nutrition.
Well, it was all about, we were teaching people, what doctors won't teach you. I mean, how does your body really react? And I don't want to try to sell anybody on this because I don't really do it anymore, but I am still a nutritionist in a way. But it changed my mindset. It's like, what do we eat? What do we really do when we're sick? Instead of depending on a drug, really how to naturally find what caused it, and let's go back and fix that. It's like a car. If you keep on driving a car and it burns one side of the tire and you put a new tire on it, guess what's going to happen? You're going to burn that tire the same way if you don't change it and fix it. Same way as our body. You have to fix something you're causing a problem with.
Right.
I think that makes sense, right? So, but off of that subject, is this back to what I was saying is, how do you know what to focus on, and how do you know what to aim for? It's like there's oh gosh, I forgot the name of the famous saying. Now here's a question I'll pick on you. Who have you really studied so far under? If you want to become something, who is really some of your idols that you listen to and you study from? Do you have a mentor? That's a honest question.
I really do wish that I did. I have a lot of people who give me advice. I have all these people who are looking to give me something and teach me something, but I don't mesh with them as a person. Like, right. I like Brian Carruthers, great guy. He's made massive success doing what he did, but I don't ever see myself really connecting with him. If I met him in person, like I might have a conversation with him, but that's about it. I wouldn't want to follow him. I wouldn't have any interest in him. But I think it's because, like deep down, I think I'm more art oriented.
Mm-hmm.
I like designing things, visual, graphic, art, all of that. So I've always followed video game companies, things like that, and I like the ability to create something basically out of nothing. So
thin air. You just like making it out of thin air. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I was pursuing a degree in science, so I wanted to make things out of a little more than thin air, but yeah, I mean, it's just that's a great ability to have, and just something it's great to do is just create things and have something made that no one else has done. So,
well, there's a problem with that. I know you're being good, but there's been artists for over 2,000 years. We know, so you can't really be the first artist.
No, correct? It wouldn't be the first artist.
But I'm saying you can be a different kind of artist, just like musicians. Music's been around for longer than we even know. But what's funny, every day a different song comes out, sounds a little different. They don't all sound the same. Some do, but you know what I mean? Real musicians don't sound exactly like somebody did yesterday. That's what's amazing about music. I'm a musician. So that blew my mind when I started noticing we never can stop. I mean, you could try for 1 billion years and you'll never write the same song twice.
Right.
It's just amazing. How can we do something like that? It does in science. It makes no sense. It really doesn't, because they can't figure that out.
No.
It's art same way. Art is
imagination and creativity, and you can't model that. You can't create it.
There's no answer to it.
Because we're putting together all the different experiences that we have personally had in our lives that no one else can experience, no one else is going to have, and we use that to create something.
Now, that's where I want to go in on business. If you want to start a business or do something, you need to start thinking like that. Be a little different. Step outside the box nobody really ever thought about. Because if you can open their eyes to something, you're going to be different than the average. Because the average, let's talk about a big store like Walmart. It's everywhere. What they did, they destroyed little bitty towns. Big cities, it's not really that hard on them, but little towns, it was really hard on them. What happened? Mom and pop shops are gone, and people that work there, they don't really have anything to learn except for just sell what the store tells you to sell. There's not any education. But if you look at them in a business way, They were a genius. They didn't create anything. They just sold what people wanted and made it cheaper and bigger.
They made a platform, basically.
Yeah, and they found something that was wanted.
Yeah.
People want everything. Now, it's not like the old generation. People used to love going to different stores. Everybody today, time. I have no time. They keep on saying that. I have no time. I want it now. I don't want to wait for it. So now there's even McDonald's inside Walmart's. You want a burger? You just get a burger while you're in there buying your clothes and your shoes or whatever you want to do. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
How far is too far? That's what I'm trying to get people to realize. We need to bring people sort of back to the old generation to where we slow them down and we give them what they want and they feel relaxed instead of
what
rushed.
everyone really wants now is time.
Yeah. They don't understand. We have the time. You're just using it wrong.
Exactly.
You're speeding it up. You're thinking, I have to have this now. I got to have it now. I can't wait until tomorrow. You know, there's things like Twitter. Boom. I could put something out there. 30 seconds later, it's gone. Nobody ever see it again. See what I mean? They don't go back and look at the past too much. Facebook is having that problem. You used to put something on Facebook, be there for weeks. Now, there's so many people on Facebook. You're lucky if somebody sees it twice.
They've added an algorithm in there too called the like edge points. And if you don't have enough edge points, you're not promoting about Facebook, you're not promoting enough stuff, you're not commenting enough, you're not liking enough, you're not sharing enough stuff, then you fade into oblivion and no one will ever see your posts again just because you're not on Facebook enough. And
They have forgotten what it was for. Now it's all for numbers. It's all numbers. They're thinking computerized. Numbers.
I am never on Facebook often. Like I speak to people and that's it. I don't post. I'm not looking to have content on my feed. I mean, I've got enough people in my Facebook that give me content. So it's fun to look at and check out every now and then. But honestly, I'm the guy chasing time. I'm looking for more time to do things, more chances to get out and like finding these little weird mom and pop shops. Like here, I'm in Washington State.
You got some classic stuff there.
Yeah, there's the like just north of me, there's like a root beer emporium. And where else are you going to find something like that? Got 200 to 400 different types of like handmade, handcrafted root beers. And I love going in there. Like maybe a bottle's at most $3 if it's really fancy, but they're all glass bottles. They all run under like a cup of coffee. Okay. You can try different types and you can even go in there and ask to sample.
Well, let's talk about that. So what's the price if I go to, I don't know what your grocery stores are there, but Safeway, like Walmart, QFC, of course. So you do Costco. Have Safeway? Okay. Costco. Well, Costco's like a Sam's. It's a cheap discount part.
We have Sam's too.
We're like a drive-through. We have Circle K's here. What's a drive-through? Like a gas station drive-through.
A gas station drive-through?
Like when you drive, people will put gas in their cars and they usually get drinks at the gas station or something. So
just like AM, PM, Arco.
Okay. What is the price of a drink there? I know they're not cheap.
Depends on the drink. I mean, if you want like a drive-through coffee stand, that's not cheap.
Like Starbucks. Do y'all have Starbucks over there?
Yeah. The controversy that people are having with Starbucks over a stupid red cup is.
Well, I'm just trying to show you something that you might not notice. Why do people pay outrageous prices for Starbucks?
$3 to $5. I know exactly why they pay it. It's convenience. It's what they're used to, and it's branded
also a
everywhere.
Mental thing. Mentally, they think I'm worth that dollar. My time is important, so I'm going to spend more to get quality.
Yeah, I love that mentality because I'll go to a gourmet coffee shop that just happens to be a barista stand, and I'll buy the same amount of coffee for $2, maybe $2.50, and it tastes better. It's been brewed, and people are actually trying to make it. And I'm like, I love the little mom and pop shops, the niche stores, all of these things, just because they offer a better product for a lower price.
Well, that's what I was talking about, like the drink place you went to. We have one in Austin too. They make wine here big, but we also have a root beer place. And they're the most expensive root beer I ever heard of. But why are they still in business? It's because people respect it. They think, I don't even know. If you didn't know, we have Dr. Pepper and Coca-Cola has their factory here, and they make that stuff from scratch, straight out of that, I call it like oil, it's tar, but they have also another place that makes they have these crazy stainless steel, big monster building, holds thousands and thousands of gallons, and that's how they show off their drinks, and you come in and you can have your time, and it's like a fun history place, and people will pay for it. Right. We have a place called Bluebell Ice Cream, one of the most biggest parts of Texas. I'm here in Texas is crazy.
It just moved
Nobody.
from Texas.
Yeah, so you know what I'm talking about. Bluebell is like the king of ice cream.
Yeah, yeah. I
Doesn't mean they're
just
the best, but they have a brand that just like people will just do anything to get one. And it's hilarious.
yeah, I know.
Their advertising is maybe not the best, but you walk in and you take a tour, they try to make you feel like everything in the world is yours. You know, they treat you pretty cool.
Their
And
old
that right
advertising
there.
was better, actually. Just to
Yeah.
throw it out there, I love the Bluebell Country ice cream song and like the old
Yeah.
commercials that came out. Commercials now are just they're killing me. I hate them. I don't even watch commercials because I avoid TV and cable just to stay away from commercials.
Well, movies are driving me crazy. How they're getting out too far. They're just forgetting the meaning of a movie. You know, some of these movies are just hilarious. Like, I'm gonna be upfront. I've seen movies that don't need to show a guy attacking a girl that he'll never date the rest of his life and just have sex for no reason in the show. We don't even need that. You know, like hilarious things we don't even and cuss. They say I'm not into foul language because really you become what you speak, and you don't mean
Yeah.
to. Do you talk that way around like a pastor or a judge or anybody or a policeman? I mean, we don't. I mean, it's just that's not proper language. It's not saying it's bad like just with words. It's bad in your mind because you think what you speak.
Yeah,
And whoever
I
you're
was raised by a mechanic.
now, who are your 5 best friends? And that's really important. Whatever they do is what you're going to do. Even if you don't want to, you're going to become that. Like people that are overweight, they have overweight friends. You have bodybuilders, you got bodybuilder friends. It's funny. You look at these people. People
See,
like
that's
me.
the fun thing. Like every mentor I've ever spoken to, and everyone who's wanted to guide me has been telling me, I will act like my 5 best friends, and that will be the group I'm in. And I don't have 5 best friends. I mean, I haven't developed connections with people. I don't have a lot of friends. I was raised in a very turbulent like past, I guess. My childhood wasn't a childhood. So like I thought I went to a therapist out of curiosity's sake because I was thinking of all the bad things that have happened to me in my life and the very just screwed up things I've already lived through. I'm like, I should have something wrong with me because by default, everyone else says I should have something wrong.
Yeah,
with me.
they're not right. They're not always right.
So I was like, I'm going to go and get my mental health evaluated. And they're like, no, you're normal. You just have a lot of tendencies. Like if you got worse, you would be antisocial. Like the whole
Right.
worst antisocial personality disorder. You could be a sociopath. You could lean in all these things. He's like, you don't have any emotional connections to anyone because I'm always moving and I'm always out and about. So I don't connect myself with my 5 people. There is no 5 people for me to connect to. It's just me. So when I'm spending time alone, I'm looking for ways to improve myself.
Right.
And I do have some friends that follow me, but they're
You might not know what I mean by 5 friends. That doesn't mean like your best friend you spend all your not like the old movie Friends. Not that. Not like that show Friends. That's 5 like their best friends, of course.
they all live in the same building and it helps.
Yeah, it's not like that. I mean, it's sort of we're saying in a business and the people you spend your time with, that really is who your friend is. And if you don't spend time with anybody, dude, it's not saying it's terrible, but it's good to go out and meet people because it's sort of hard to be alone. I mean, I grew up in my life is pretty scattered out too. I'll give you a compliment on yours. You don't even know. I'm 49. I've been studying for so long. I can tell pretty quick what somebody's like, almost very quick.
Yeah.
Are they stressed out? Are they angered? Do they have a great life? Or are they just confused? Or, so far I've noticed on you is you're not confused or anything. You just don't know 100% sure if you really want to go a certain way. You know what you want, but you don't know which one to choose.
Exactly. I'm always given a lot of like at a supermarket. I've been given so many options, but
Right.
choosing the right one and finding out how to pursue it has been my my dilemma. That and I don't like talking to people in person anymore because if I'm trying to sell somebody something, I don't have an interest in it. That gives me anxiety. But if I'm talking to somebody just to talk to somebody, if I'm going out to meet people, that's my passion. I love meeting people. I love talking to people, getting to know them, making friends. But the thing is like I get microdoses of people. So I'll get to know them and they'll be really interested. I'll get their information. I'll set up a time to hang out with them. I'll hang out with them once or twice and then move on to my next person. So I have a very large group of acquaintances.
Yeah. Now here's something. I hope you'll respect this part. Don't ever sell again. If you think you're supposed to sell, you're in the wrong business. It sounds stupid. A lot of bosses hate me. A lot of bosses hate me saying this, but when they listen, they know what I mean. If you're trying to sell, you're forcing something down somebody.
Exactly.
You're giving them something they're not asking for. Even if they do want it, it's like if a girl's pretty and you walk up and saying, "Girl, you're so hot, I'd love to bang you." Dude, you just screwed up. Doesn't matter how beautiful she is. She's going to hate you or think you're a sick guy unless she's a wild girl and want to be. But the
I
thing
give
is, I
women
tell,
compliments like that just for the fun of it, because it's funny to see them blush sometimes, but I won't say it like that. Like I saw this one
but you know what
girl,
I
I was getting off the airplane, and she was drop dead gorgeous. She looked like
mean.
a model. I mean, she was absolutely beautiful. So I walked up to her and I was like, you know what? I know this is going to be weird, and I know most people probably don't have the balls to say this, but I'm going to tell you, you're absolutely beautiful, and just keep doing whatever you're doing and be happy with it. And then I just walked away. That's all I wanted to say to her. And
Yeah.
she was like smitten. It was fun. It was
Well,
just didn't even know what to say after that. And she was like,
I
well,
learned
thanks.
a lot on dating. I dated the wrong girl, but one of my new deals I've learned about women, they don't like compliments as much as they think they do because they hear it all the time, especially beautiful girls. And if I see a woman I think's just out of this world and it's amazing somebody can even be that pretty, I'll usually say something to her. I'll just look at her and give her this little up and down look, saying, "Girl, I feel sorry for you." And she'll say, "What?" She's not used to hearing that. Say, "I know how many people probably hate you. You know what I mean? Because you can't help you're a knockout. It's just don't let them hold you back. You're just born that way. Don't let it go to your head and you think you're the best, but don't let nobody hold you back. You're a pretty good looking girl." And then that's it. And almost every time they will say, "Thank you," or "Wow, I didn't think that way," or "I'm glad somebody looks at me different." I've heard that. That caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting to hear that. And the deal is that they'll sort of watch me walk away. And that's a cool rush, thinking this girl's looking at me now. I'm not looking at her anymore. And it's like, it makes me look, what? I'm not that good looking and I'm not really that young, but dang, they have respect for me. That makes me have a high for the day. That's I complimented somebody, I believe, in a different way than they're used to hearing,
Yeah.
and that makes me high. I mean, that's a great feeling. Even if I'm never going to be friends with her again, I even teased one girl at a grocery store. I said, "I don't know if you're married or not, but maybe someday if we bump into each other, that'd be a nice time to see you again." Boom. That's all I told her, and if it happens, shoot, she's a lucky girl because I'm not going to, I'll remember her very well. I mean, there's some good looking girls out there. The only thing is most very, very pretty women I've had problems with, they have emotional problems. They've never lived in a normal world.
It's weird.
Yeah, they never lived in a normal world. They don't know what it's like a normal world is. So that's the same thing in a business. I know a lot of women that were models and they're just depressed. They have everything they ever wanted, but they're still depressed. They have to have drugs to get that high. And it's just so sad. I'm sorry, but I'm not into drugs. I've seen enough people screw their lives up. I don't want to be one of them.
Yeah, my mom was a meth addict.
And hopefully it helped you not go to that level because it didn't solve a problem.
No.
It just made it worse. Might be a quick high, but
it kept me away from ever even getting curious about stuff like that. So,
you got a good idea. You can be a counselor on that even for kids, since you grew up with it. I grew up with a brother that was alcoholic. My parents got a divorce. I was shot in the head by a 22. I mean, I can go through a lot of counseling with people if I wanted to. I have a great experience of that, but I aim more to help people look at the past. Don't let it hold you down, and let's go somewhere higher than we thought we could be. It's like I'm in an airplane. I'm already in the air. Let's go higher. I want to go to the moon.
Exactly.
So,
That's exactly what I've been pursuing. It's not always easy to find the right mentors because some of them are still selling.
Well, that's what I was getting in. Let's go back to that. Selling is wrong, but giving information, you never should stop. And you're always selling. Even if you didn't know it, if I bragged about a hamburger place or a movie, you're selling. Even if you don't know it, you're selling. Yeah,
I've been going through blabs here, and I'll have people, like, I'll find a blab that's like, just, tell me your product. And I tell them what I do and what I have, but I don't do it in the sense that I'm selling. I just give them information. It's just like a quick informal, tell them what it does, what do we do, how it helps them. And then I leave off from there, then have a conversation with the person.
Well, I think I saw it on your site, right, Tom? You got let me look at that again. Oops, popped out. Yeah, you got all kinds of places to go on yours. So is that your products or is that just different sites you made?
Um,
Because I see you got, GWP, was that CO? I don't even know what that is.
oh, that's for my
Videos?
legal shield. Their information basically on how to have legal protection, identity theft protection. And if
Yeah.
you want, you can be an associate. I haven't been actually focusing on any of that. It's just information that's a part of me. So if people get interested and they want to know about it, that's fine. They can click on it, but I'm not going to be
Right.
openly promoting it anymore.
Well, let's pick on you for a moment. I'm gonna have fun. See if don't get mad at me. Have
That's
you
cool.
ever read any good books like Think and Grow Rich?
I haven't read Think and Grow Rich yet, but I did read Build an Empire, The Tipping Point,
All right. I'm gonna give you a
Dale
free
Carnegie.
copy. Do you like audiobooks?
I do like audiobooks. They're fun to listen to. I can listen to them a few times and
Well,
get
while
all the
you're
things I
going to
missed.
sleep or if you're watching something,
I listen to them when I'm on the bus. I do a lot of commuting.
oh, do you?
Yeah.
Let's see if I have it here. Well, iTunes made so many things, but I've learned there's a lot of books people have to pay for. You can get free on the internet now.
Right.
That's what I do. I'm not greedy, but I do charge people, and then I give them all the stuff I did my work and found. I found a lot of books out there. There's a guy named Eben Pagan. That's Pagan. He's another good guy to follow. It's free. He charges over $10,000 for his stuff, but there's so many free things out there right now. Do you ever study Tony Robbins?
I know who he is. And
See, these guys, I'm not saying they're better than us. They've just been around for a while. They've learned secrets. Tony Robbins is probably a billionaire now.
Yeah.
And he was a guy that grew up in a family, had, I think, 3 dads, had a disease. He was supposed to die. The doctor said, just go home and die. We can't fix it. So, I mean, he went through a rough time, but he didn't let it stop him. He became, by the age of 20, he was like a millionaire. None of his friends were millionaires. And he wanted to have fun with them, but they mentally were embarrassed to be around him because they weren't millionaires. Some reason it was a mind deal. He wasn't trying to insult them. He wanted to take them out and buy them cars and everything. And they got mad. Everything he bought them, they got madder. He wasn't insulting them. He just wanted to be with his friends, That's when he learned early. You got to be careful who your friends are,
Not everybody wants to bring you up, unfortunately.
Well, here's a good way to put it. They don't want to think like you think. If you didn't know, barely 5 to 10% of people in the world think big dollars, and I'm not talking about cash mindset. Like if I want to open a store, Steve Jobs was not wanting to be a billionaire. He just wanted to be a guy that invented something nobody's ever done. What happened? He became a billionaire because he did what people wanted.
Right.
Bill Gates, he didn't invent nothing. He bought it.
Yeah, he bought it, and then I think Wachowski helped him out.
I mean, it's just crazy. Look at Facebook. That kid would have never made it if somebody didn't invest their money on him. He would have never been where he is now. So somebody big with money helped him.
Yeah.
I don't know really the truth about him, but, some things question me. It's
Mark Zuckerberg.
No, Zuckerberg scares me sometimes.
Why is that?
I just don't know if he's part of the government now or what he's doing because the rules on Facebook has got out of control. It's almost like YouTube is no longer YouTube anymore.
He doesn't have Facebook anymore. Actually, he stopped being the big head of it, and now he's more just of like a figurehead, so to speak.
I guess. Well, he's a billionaire. Shoot, he's going to have a baby, I think. So there's another guy, one of the oldest guys in the business. Here, I'll even show you his book. I'll even might send you a free copy. His name's Sean Casey, one of the nicest guys I ever met. Here's a book he talks about. It's a $10,000 K Club. This is funny. People have problems thinking bigger than $10,000 a month. And it is big to me. All honest. That's a lot of money.
It'd be good money.
But people don't realize, you can make $1 million a month if you think like that. I mean, all it is just numbers. Once you start making $10,000 a month, you're not really working for money anymore. You can buy almost anything you want.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can't live in like a $20 million home yet, but who wants to live in a $20 million home? That drives me crazy. Why in the world do you want to buy something that big?
It's an asset. It's not even an asset. It's a liability. If anything happens to that home, then you pay for it. So,
or it's just
not good to have. I wouldn't mind having a big house just so I can have all of my own little workstations inside my own house.
Well, I mean, if you have a goal, you have a reason. Me, I know what I would do. I'd probably have me about a $4 to maybe $7 million home, and then about 30 of that would go to build houses for the homeless and help people rechange their lives. Recovering alcoholics, recovering homeless people, women that don't have husbands or kids, moms with nothing, stuff like that. See, that would make me feel like $1 million.
Yeah.
If I can help someone, because not very many people could help me when I got injured. I had a brain injury, and people didn't know what to do back then. Doctors didn't even understand it. Doctors still don't get it today.
Brains don't make a lot of sense to people.
Well, this is something I have a guy named Tony excuse me, not Tony Robbins. That's another one. Excuse me. Tellman is his name. He comes on every Monday through Friday at 1:00 Central Time here on Blab. You got to get it. He charges $5,000 an hour. You're getting it free if you just come and listen to Tellman. Dude, it's free. He's not always the best answers of everything, but dang, sometimes he comes up with the ideas and he's helping people every day. You're crazy for not getting it. It's free. I mean, that's what I'm doing. I'm giving away free information. I could charge you $100 if I want to be greedy, but I'd rather give it away, and then maybe later you'll buy some of my coaching stuff later. I don't want it now. I want the long-term relationship. I don't want the one-time sale and I never see you again. I'd rather get a relationship and then we'll be together long-term, and maybe we can do a business together. See, that's what I like. That's what I'm talking about, my 5 best friends. That's how I find my 5 best friends, because you never know who's who.
Exactly. And I've got business ideas. I mostly want to, like I said, I'm still in the design create mode. I have an idea and a product and the things that I want to do with it, but other people have already done it. But I don't care about that. I want to make a game.
Well, look at that. Is it too big for anybody else to get involved, or is it like Coca-Cola? I'm sorry, I hate the drink. I'm not against it, but I hate the drink. But everybody sells it. They're a fool for not selling it. Every movie theater sells it. Every grocery store sells it. Every gas station sells it. You know what I mean? It's everywhere. They're fools for not carrying it because everybody wants it. I'm not saying 100% of the people, but the percentage is so big. It's at every football game, every basketball game. It's at every, name it. It's there. They have branded themselves so good, and you want to sell drinks. You're a fool for not carrying it. I mean, unless you want to be a health nutritionist. You can't put it like in a Gold's Gym or something like that and sell very well.
I think Coke started trying to do that with I don't know if Sobe is part of their product, but they released a soda that was supposed to be full of like
vitamins and stuff.
Vitamins and green tea, and it was Mr. Green.
Mr. Green, yeah.
Yeah, I love that stuff. Came in a little 20-ounce bottle, cost about like 50 cents, 60 cents.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why they took it out of the production, but I thought it was great. 60-cent bottle of soda, tasted just like Dr. Pepper. I had no complaints.
Right.
Yeah. I like Dr. Pepper, so I was like, all right, I'll take this.
You know what I did? They blocked it out. I went on to give you a free deal. Maybe I can refine another one. Let's see if they have another one. That's one thing I'm mad about YouTube. YouTube's getting so big, they're taking away some of the coolest stuff out there.
What's that?
Oh, like there's another guy named Robert Kiyosaki.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Uh-huh.
I loved his book.
Him and Donald Trump wrote a book together that's one of the best books to buy. It's all about, it's right here. I think I got it in front of me. Here's another one you might want to look up. It's sort of an old book, but, see what it says?
Yeah.
Yeah. They want everybody to be rich. And that's not money, cash in the bank rich, mentally rich, to where if we need something, like I was making a joke on you can make, like artists can make things appear out of nothing. You just draw it and it's there, but it's all in your mind. Somewhere you have it. You just need to put it out to where we can see it. I have a friend is advertising, and he just blows my mind what he can do. His art I don't know where he gets it. He can draw stuff, and I'm just trying to figure out, how do you think like that? I mean, it looks like almost a perfect picture. It's a 3D. He could draw like a 3D picture. I don't know.
I love those people that draw those 3D pictures. That would be detail that I could get into, and I could draw at some point, but I will be honest, I'm not willing to devote the hours that it would take to get into that yet.
Right. That's the deal.
The
But
art I want to do, I do have like a specific art project I'm trying to pursue, but I feel like it'd be done better if I had all of the technical details squared away. Because I don't know tech. Everybody thinks I know tech, but it's only because I'm a problem solver. If I need to know tech, I find tech and I figure it out. But
all right, I'm going to give you something that nobody knows. Here you go. $997 I'm giving you worth. Now this guy is a guy here in Austin, Texas. It's going to be 7 videos.
yeah, I see that.
Okay. And maybe
I'm
if
bookmarking him.
yeah, now later if you want to find me or follow me, I'll give you some more stuff for nothing. And there's other guys out there that will help you think the same way.
I think I'm following you
And
now.
what's cool, these are free coaches that came from nowhere, are now multi-million. He makes a little over probably 30 million a year. And he used to work at a Chinese place being a waiter. So, I mean, there is no limit to what you can be. And that was not even 10 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, my
He
mindset's
changed his
limited
mindset.
right now, unfortunately.
No, that's what I'm saying.
For-
There is,
for a
he
reason.
was too. But what did he do? He went and found free information, and that information gave him ideas. And those little ideas made him money. He went and wrote a book, and that book he sold for just, I think, less than $40 each. And he sold maybe one day, and then it got into 2 in one day, and then it came to 7 sales in one day. Then he got into selling over 20 in one day. You know what I mean? It slowly multiplied. So let's do the numbers. This is his. So I'll say if it's $40 times 20, if I'm correct, that's $800 a day he started making. That's not bad, right? I mean, for a lot of people, shoot, people don't even make that a week or a month. You know, I mean, depends on
Right.
how poor you are. But well, his goal now, he makes a little over 10,000 a day. I know that. So if I'm correct, making 30 something million a year, you got to make quite a bit of money. So maybe you can understand what he's going in on, and he's not trying to sell you anything. He's just trying to open your eyes. That's why I'm a musician. There's so many signs people don't realize. You can write songs about anything.
Yeah.
Art, same way. You can write art. You can draw art about anything. Advertising, you can really advertise anything. That's what I love about businesses. If you're selling a product, do you really sell it for the right reason? Are you trying to force it, or are you trying to answer what they want? Just give. And we got another guest on. Let's see who this is. Tanya. That's a good one. I have not seen a friend named Tanya in a good while. How you been doing, girl? I grew up with one. I miss her. She moved to Colorado. I'm here in Austin.
My friends moved to Colorado.
Yeah.
I
Uh-oh.
went
She has
from
a...
Fort Worth out to here. Oh, nice. She's an
Oh,
awesome.
she's in Austin too. Yahoo! Hook 'em horns.
Yeah, Longhorns all over Texas.
Oh, I know, and they won't win. What's wrong with these guys? They're so good. And that's a problem too. People, it's a team. You got to be. Now, here's the funny thing about a business. Everybody can be a CEO or president, or if you're your own, you got to be a team partner. You can't be out on your own thinking we'll make it work the way we want to make it work. That doesn't always happen. I don't know if you're into this. You grew up so early, but I've watched every time the new Star Wars came out. We were
I've
there
watched
seeing
all of the
first.
Star Wars movies.
I saw it the day it came out,
Yeah.
and it was like the Matrix. So you're almost in the generation. You don't know what I'm talking about. The day you saw the Matrix was like a change of history, right?
Matrix was awesome. I loved that first movie. It was very captivating.
Well, I mean, it caught you off guard. You were not expecting that.
No.
That's what I like.
I made it into a conference and I got free passes to see the Star Wars before it comes out to theaters. So it's me and a buddy, and I'm like, who wants to go? I mean, I don't care who comes with me. I'm going to watch this before it releases into theaters. And they're like, no way. How did you get that? And I'm just like,
yeah, pre-launch. Yeah.
yeah. Fortunately, knowing a guy and going into a conference, because he was trying to teach me how to build my own brand, but he wasn't a good teacher.
Yeah. Well,
or maybe I was a bad student. I don't know.
No. Don't think that way. Here, this is what people. Nobody's really a bad teacher. They just don't know how to speak. They don't know how to mention the right. Let's put it this way: their sentences are confusing, right? They don't know how to make any sense because they're talking in their brain. They're talking from their own thoughts. But if you study people like I'm saying for free, Tony Robbins right now is thousands and thousands of dollars to go to. It's all free on YouTube. You're missing out. Think and Grow Rich. Just look that up yourself. Just type it down. Get the audio version. Dang, it's a long book, but dang, if you listen to what he says, you know that book was written almost 60 years ago, and nothing has changed since then. Things still happen today the same way. Tony Robbins have put out a copy sort of his up-to-date book to tell people how to invest their money today. And he went through over 20 of the most wealthiest investors in the world. And they all say the same thing. You know, one, we have to trust nobody but ourselves. You know, you can't trust anybody on investments because your instincts will tell you the truth. Tanya, pop on if you would. I'd love you to be one of these ladies out here. The women have power men cannot have. I mean, we are good, but women.
I definitely try and market to women all the time. They would be the best people to have in my team.
Well, women have emotions that men do not understand. You know what I mean? That is something women have a gift of. A mom can know if a kid did something wrong in a blink of an eye. Hey, how you doing, Tanya?
Hey, how are you guys doing?
Doing good. Out here just trying to help some people that are looking to knock on another, say, home run, get on another level. Get out of this box we're stuck in, you know? You can't get past that limit of what they're making.
Yep, because everyone always wants to start where Tony Robbins is instead of starting where they are and move that direction.
Well, what do you do? Yeah. This is funny. What about the men that go to space and they get to be on the moon? They come home. What do you do after that? I mean, they get depressed. They're bored. You look at most of the gymnastics, people that win the gold in the Olympics. What do they do after that? There's nowhere to go higher. So, I mean, so they're confused. They have nothing.
Because they don't change. They don't want to change, right?
They've hit their ceiling. What's happened? They've hit what they imagined as being their greatest achievement, and they didn't want to shift gears. They didn't want to go somewhere else. They're like, no, this is the one thing I wanted to do, and I achieved it. Now what? Me, on the other hand, I'd hit that, and I'd be like, that's great. Let's do something new.
Yeah, well, you're being smart. I'll tell you one that impresses me a lot. I don't know if y'all know the Dallas Cowboys as well, but we have an old quarterback. Was one of the best that he, of course, of his time. Well, when his time was up, what did he do? He became a speaker. Now he's on every football game you see out there. He wasn't stupid. He went and stayed into the sport, but he wasn't playing anymore. Now he got to be paid probably about the same or better just to speak. So
exactly,
he's still in the sport, but he's not being banged around anymore. You know?
Well, and especially in the speaking world, everybody is looking for real people now. They don't want Tony Robbins. They don't want Les Brown. They want real people that they can understand and that they can relate to. It's the relatability factor now.
Yeah. I see a picture of you in the bag. Is that yours?
You got a book out? Book. I got 6 books.
Dude, we got a book writer here.
See, I think promotional stuff would be better to write. I'm stuck on fiction. I love science fiction. I love writing fiction because when I'm writing a story, I don't know where I'm going. That's the best part about when I do stories, when I do art, when I do anything creative, everybody's like, oh, you have the picture in your mind. You're done with it. And I'm like, no, it's not a finished product when it comes out. It's alive. Once you start with it, it's just going to, you have no idea where it's going to
go. I want to give you some probably over $10,000 information real quick. It's going to blow your mind, I hope. Back in the 60s, science fiction was big. Everybody talked about things we could not even imagine. Right here, I'm holding in my hand better than what they even talked about back then. You remember?
Yeah, they had to have portable computers in your hand. They're like, it was going to be great.
Everything was in their hand. They flipped it open, talked on it. Nobody thought that would happen. Now that's like what are you talking about? That's normal.
That's retro.
We just haven't beamed anybody up yet, you know? So
we're working on that. The thing that we've had a problem with in science, like we found that we can have atoms that will like line up parallel with other atoms and do the exact same thing the other atoms are doing as long as you're moving the atoms over here. And they could be in the space of like on the other side of the world. And that stuff is awesome because that's how they want to be able to transfer things from here all the way over to there. But that's all in quantum mechanics. And that's a little bit out of my field so far.
Yeah. But you understand science is sometimes you think it's not real, but it can become real if you don't go too far out of the box, you know? So I do love telling people it's fun to have a mystery. And that's why Star Wars is going to be probably one of the biggest hits of all time. Even if it wasn't the greatest, it's something that started that people don't want to get rid of. They want it forever. Like 007 will go on forever, probably.
Well, because
certain
it's
things.
marketable, right? And that's what in business, that's the hardest thing, is to figure out it's not just the thing, right? It's not just the movie, it's the expansion of the marketing that they can do with it.
Well, real
Yeah.
quick, Tanya, I want to pick on you. What kind of books do you write, and what are you based on? That'll help us understand sort of where you're coming from.
I do a lot with the business of speaking and kind of how do people really, do business? How do they market themselves? How do they sell? Because a lot of people get stuck on one concept and they don't know how to actually market themselves and get their name out there and their message known. Because if you can't get your message known, nothing's happening for you.
Yeah. I have a couple of boring books that I've read. They're not the best, like, wow, amazing, but they have such good sense in it that they're great books to read. I'm trying to find one that I think I've read that helped change my life. Dang it, where is that baby?
I tell you, if you find a book that you love, it is your opportunity to reach out to that person and contact them. You can call anybody, you can email anyone, you can text them, you can social media, connect with them. If you find someone, even on Blab, you find someone like Barry, and you're like, oh my gosh, he's amazing. Take that to the next step and get connected, because that's what it's about, is actually helping each other.
Here's a question.
I know a lot of people.
I got a question that might help a lot of people understand. When you wrote your first book and then your second, was it 100% out of your mind, or was it something you learned and you sort of put it into your words, what other people said?
Nothing is new in this world.
Right.
It is nothing new. So it's just your personality projected onto paper, onto a Blab interview, right? And that's what people get really stuck when they was like, well, how could I be a speaker? What could I speak about? You've got to be joking.
It's unlimited.
It drives me nuts.
Well, you might understand this, Tom. Do you know we believe next 15 years is going to be the highest growth of coaching ever in history. It is getting so big. People want to be taught and they're willing to pay for it. And it's growing little by little. It looks like on paper, but if you look at the numbers in 15 years, it's going to be one of the largest incomes of any business out there is coaching.
Yes.
And speaking is the way to market it, right?
Yeah. Brian, gosh, there's so many people I can name right now. You need to learn. There's so many people. One of my first guys, I didn't like what he did, but he was a genius, was Frank Kearns. He cussed like crazy, but guess what? He doesn't cuss anymore. He learned it was fun at first. He started making millions a month. He won't cuss anymore. It wasn't just because it wasn't to have fun. He realized business is business. You need to start treating it like business, because when you have respect for others, you can joke around, but that's not going to make the money. It's really fulfill something that's holding them back. That's exactly what I wrote up here. What's holding you back? What was, I love this. What was your terrible story everybody's afraid you wouldn't make it out of, and what did it make you stronger? How did it improve your life? What did it make you see that normal people don't see? Like I don't have the money yet, but when I get enough money, there's a lot of kids that don't have parents. I'd love to maybe I can't adopt them, but I can be a brother and have at least a couple of days a week, or help them, grow up not feeling alone. I mean, people
that drives right into me and what I want to do, which I didn't tell you before, is like, I think a good plan for that is, if you do have the money, what you need to invest your money into is something like a community center, or maybe a boys and girls club, and target these kids who don't have somebody looking out for them. Like, advertise things that they'd be interested in. Say, hey, free video game session. Come out here, play games, meet friends, and have like a little social environment to work with. These kids can't pay for an Xbox One. Right. They can't afford a PlayStation 4. They can't afford that nice big screen TV. But if you're offering that for free, and then, you just have a conversation with them, you act just like somebody who's a mentor. Or
who sits down and lets them read a book and make them improve their lives while they feel like somebody's paying attention to them.
Exactly. I mean, like, hit every aspect of their life. They're all lacking. I mean, me as a kid, I didn't have parents. I didn't grow up with anyone teaching me anything. My grandmother was my only one, like, solid mentor. She took me to school. She took me to sea camp down in Gulfport, Mississippi. I went to go to Ship Island. I learned how to be like a marine biologist at a young age. They were teaching you all of the loose structure. So that'd be your interest when you grew up. But she knew I was like, I'm kind of schizophrenic with my interests. So I did that. And then I went to fencing school, and then I played football, and I had so many different things going on back then. And she wanted to foster that growth in me. And that was a good example. But nowadays, a lot of parents, they're just like, their main response to their children, if they are responding to their children, is, I'm too busy, not now, come back to me later.
Right.
Why are you too busy? Why can't you do it now? I mean, what did you make a kid for? What was the purpose? Like, yeah, sure, you love to have sex. That's great. It's something everybody likes to do. I mean, let's admit it. But once you have a child, I have a son. I mean, he's in South Carolina, and I'm trying to find the right way to buy a plane ticket between now and December, because I'm trying to get a ticket to see him for Christmas. And the way I look at parenting is like, you are his number one role model in the beginning. He's going to look up to you. Everything you say is golden. And if you can say the right things and you teach them to grow and show them that it's okay to grow, don't be afraid to take risks. If something makes you nervous and it's scary, love it. Like, be excited, like enjoy it and chase it. And that's what I want to be able to give him. And I think everyone needs that. Because I've lived enough bad things.
You're too fabulous to be that broke, right? And that's the point, is you've got to make money so that you could go do all these fabulous things. So you could go out and change people's lives and your own life and your own family's lives. You know, I see way too many people struggling because they're in their own way, right? They have the ability to make a lot of people incredibly happy, and that turns into sales. And that is what is so expansive about this world, but we get in our own way. Because I know I was in my own way forever, and I was like, okay, this has got to stop.
Yeah.
Well,
Definitely.
here's something.
Have faith in what you're doing. You know?
Right. That's what I was going to say. Faith is one of the biggest weaknesses people have. We will dream, but when we get to a point close to where we want to go, we're so afraid. What do I do past this level? They pull themselves back. They collapse it on purpose, you know, and that's because they're afraid. What will I do next? If I do make it, can I really handle it? You know, and that's funny. People don't realize that is a fear we all have, and we don't notice it, because life was not made to be easy. If it was easy, everybody would do it. It's supposed to be scary in a way. And you have a gift. People don't know. If you have a son or a child, is a son you have, correct?
Yeah, he's 4.
Okay, you have a son. He's right now at the age, prices don't mean anything to him. You know, time is what he wants. He wants time. It ain't the money. It ain't what you buy him. It's not what you take him to go see and what kind of food to eat. It's time. And that's what's funny. If we stop thinking like adults think, we're hilarious. When we're children, we have no limit to what we want to be. Parents teach us we cannot have that. Schools say that's too expensive. You need to work for somebody the rest of your life. You need to do this because the government says, you know, we can take care of you. You can't take care of yourself. We're brainwashed.
Yeah, fortunately, I didn't go to school in the conventional sense. I cheated in a lot of my school in a way that when I went to school, by 3rd grade, I was reading at a college level. By 3rd grade as well, they wanted to fail me constantly. They're like, you're not doing homework. The only thing you pass are tests. You pass all your tests. You pass all your 9 weeks tests, but that's not enough. So I would barter with my teachers, and I'd be like, okay, you want me to do homework? They're like, yes. And I'm like, you want me to do schoolwork? They're like, yes. And I'm like, have you thrown away all this schoolwork? And they're like, no. I'm like, so you have it available and ready? I'm like, just give me all the homework and all the schoolwork you have. This is like the last 2 months of school. And they're like, what are you going to do with it? I'm like, I'm going to fill it all out. And I'd spend the last like 3 hours of school every day, and I would just go through all the papers, just constantly filling out all the answers, because I still remembered all of them. I read the book. I'd read my school books ahead, and then I'd fill out all my answers and get like 90s and 80s. And they're like, this isn't how this works. This isn't how life works. You can't do things like this. Eventually we're going to hold you back. And I'm like, why? School's boring. I don't want to do anything here. I'd rather be outside playing.
Well, they weren't on your level. They would not let you come to your level of what your thinking was.
Well, and all the millionaires and billionaires that are friends of mine, they barely finish high school. So you are okay, believe me. And I've got to run. I've got an 11-year-old that I've got to go feed. So it was great to be on your show.
Time. Maybe we'll pick on you on your book stuff in the future.
Absolutely.
I'm writing a book about, I have more than one book. That's the problem. I got too many books I want to write.
Nice.
I'm going to give them away free, but then I'll sell my coaching on the side after that, you know?
Yeah, let's get together. We're here in Austin together. So
yeah,
reach out.
well, you got to meet Cinda too. My stepmother wrote a book. And
Good.
it's a wild story about them living in Africa. You know, her dad was a doctor, you know, and they almost died, and how it's crazy lives, you know. So,
Awesome.
but let me see. Do I have you on here? I apologize. You did put
Let's
me on
see.
Blab. I have my email there.
Here's my
Email me some.
website,
Yeah,
so
well, send me
that
an
way you can
email.
find me there.
Yeah, send me an email or something, and we'll talk soon. I'd love to get
Do
to
you have
meet you.
your email on here? I don't see it.
Yeah.
I connected you at, with
Oh, I got my
at Twitter.
Facebook. I apologize. Just Facebook me if you want.
Okay.
It's
Sounds
great meeting
good.
you, Tanya. Good seeing you.
Yeah. I'm glad I popped in.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah, it was great meeting you.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
Tom. You now here's something you don't get. I had the same thing when I was growing up. School was so boring because it wasn't that hard, and I didn't do my homework, and embarrassment. I couldn't get nobody's attention. I tried to get their attention. I would
Yeah,
make
it was a
almost
class
hundreds on my test, but I wouldn't do my homework.
Yeah.
Just to tick them off. Couldn't get their attention. It's like my parents didn't even notice me. And they flunked me with in our school, you had to make a 70 to pass. They flunked me with a 69 on one deal just to shove it in me, just to pick on me, So she made sure there was no way, even if I made 100 on everything and I didn't do my homework, there was no way I'd get past a 70. Well, she flunked me that year. And from that day on, life changed. Just like you would not believe what happened to me then. That's when I got a head injury real bad. I got shot by a kid because I got sort of held back to the same grade the next year, and I met the wrong friends, and it's just like everything went down. And it was all because I was bored. And it makes me wonder the rest of my life, who would I have been if I would have not let them hold me down? If I would have been like, there's people I've met that I've read books on now. Einstein had the same problem. It was too simple. He didn't get what they're talking about because it made no sense. Why would I need to know algebra when there's no meaning to it? When he finally got out of the box and had a reason, we found out he's one of the most genius men in the world, it's ever been known in mankind. So you got to sort of step out and find out what your gifts are, and don't do a little, do it past what you can handle. You want to get headaches. You want to have these little mad moments that you can't figure it out. That is fun. Like those funny nerd movies where they have these shows on where everybody's geniuses, right? And they're always having challenges, and they think, oh, everybody in the world thinks like I do. No, we don't. I mean, not everybody has that talent. So you need to use your talent to your advantage. Maybe you can be a teacher and teach, like you said, kids that don't know how to use it. What do we use it for?
Oh, mentor and coach. For now, I'm trying to find ways to. I know what my talent is. It's seeing something and wanting to improve it.
Right.
And I'm
well,
trying
here's
to
the question.
utilize
Do
that.
they want to improve it? That is the biggest question. Do they want to improve that?
Yeah, that's the thing.
You can't make them improve something they don't want to improve. Like General Motors used to be my favorite automobile place. Now I can't stand the new designers. They don't know what they're doing. They have screwed the name up. I never thought a Ford truck would be the leader of the market when Chevy was the leader for over 30 years. General Motors was the leader on trucks. Nobody can compete with them because they were the coolest, the fanciest, the most powerful. And then what happened? This new generation came along and forgot the reason. They don't get it. The light went off. What happened to the Trans Am? The real Smokey and the Bandit days. You probably don't know what I'm talking about, but that was like one of the cars that changed history.
I was raised on that.
You know what I mean? It was cool. It was something that was dangerous and bad, but everybody wanted it.
Oh yeah, drive around with that big. What is that? A hawk or an eagle on the front?
Oh, the Eagle. It was like, yeah, it was pretty. That was a monster engine. People don't realize that engine. You couldn't catch it very easy.
No. I love that car.
And then the government made it illegal because it was too powerful. Police couldn't catch them. It was hilarious. Politics. But let's get into something before I don't want to hold you on forever, but let's answer one thing and then I'll turn the record off. But
okay,
what in the next 5 years do you want to accomplish? Where's your goal, and don't even put a price on it. What would you really want to do, and what would it achieve if you did accomplish it? What would it be?
I definitely like to have my own business, but not a business. I don't care about a business. I want to like a company. I'd like to have my own brand, basically. I mean, I want my own games design. I want my own T-shirts. I want my vision out there. Like I want my.
What is it going to do?
What
is it going to be doing? That's the question. What will it be doing for others?
Well, that will do things for others in the sense of people will like it and it'll make them feel something. But with that vehicle, I could reinvest in my communities and help people. Like with the community centers and the bars. And actually, I want to open up bars for adults to hang out and play video games. Honestly, I want to tie more things around a social gathering. So bringing people together is what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Bringing actual people together, not just on a virtual platform. I want people to want to go and hang out at places and meet other people. And maybe they'll have business conversations. Who knows? They could meet their next business partner there, but they can also enjoy themselves and relax and not have to worry about if anyone else is judging them or watching them or telling them what to do. So
there's a man on Facebook right now. I don't know who he is. He's a teacher, and it's gone over like 23 million hits already. And he's doing something I have not seen a teacher do, I don't believe in my whole life, do this way. He'll just sit there, and every young kid, they have to be at least 6 to 7, maybe 8 years old max, will walk up to him, and he tells them what they're great at and how important they are and how powerful they're going to be. Each one of them. And then he makes them give them a high five. Like, you're a kick, you know what, kid. We couldn't be here. Life would not be the same without you. And I don't think people realize just that little word is going to stick to that kid's head. And if he hears it every time the teacher's around, imagine what his brain will start thinking, instead of this teacher's making me do math or this teacher's making me do history. It's not that. The teacher's saying, look what this kid can learn in math. Look what this kid can do in history. See what I mean? He's changed it to where now he's complimenting them, how smart they are and how powerful they can be.
Right.
That kid can become maybe the next, above Bill Gates, kicking his, what. Bill Gates didn't have it that great, but he was a stubborn man that made a goal that didn't let nobody stop him. Nobody could stop him. Steve Jobs, same thing. Didn't matter who didn't believe in him. He even made his first computer out of his mom and dad's garage. There is no limit. They didn't have money. They didn't have nothing, but they made it work. They went and borrowed money to make it work. So, if you're willing to find a way, it's just imagine, what can you really make? We got to have fun. It's like, men, I'm trying to help them. I'm not a professional on dating, but I tell men, girls are not easy. Don't think it is. So don't ever expect to get everything you want, because just to get 10%, you're lucky. It's the deal is you if you learn what a girl really wants, you're going to start getting around 80 to 90%, and it's not complicated anymore because you figured out what she really wants. First, you got to know what does she want, and then stop trying to compete against her.
That's what I've definitely been trying to do with my girlfriend. Find out what she wants, and I guess the real thing I've been trying to decide is if I want to give her what she wants, if what she wants connects with what I want in life.
Right. Or is she does she even know what she wants? Because most women, there's books above and beyond what I could say, but they're almost saying 67% of women don't even know what they want. A small few. That's why some women are geniuses. They marry very wealthy men, and some marry guys because they think they got to get married, and they have terrible relationships.
That's what they were taught to get married.
Well, they think we'll change it after we get married. That's not the way it works. The famous words, 2 to tango. One can't make it work. It takes 2 to make it work. So,
right.
And I tell men, y'all don't get it. Girls are fun to play with as a joke sometimes. Like, make them not mad, but make them not believe everything is for them. And it makes them want it more, because if you give them everything they want, you just gave up the challenge. They don't need you anymore. There's no mystery. They want that fun, Will he ever give me any time? And then just for no reason, not unexpected, take him on a date. Take her out on a date she didn't even know you had planned. Boom, blow her mind. Girls love that.
That's why girls fall in love with me, because I don't have I'm not easy. Everyone thinks at first I'm really sweet and nice and loving, and they're like, oh yeah, I want that. Then when they get with me, I kind of shut it all off. And they're like, where'd it go? And I'm like, well, this is more something you have to earn.
Yeah. Well, and it doesn't have to be expensive restaurants. You can go out and just eat sandwiches at the park, or if you have a lake like I do, I love watching the sunset. Girls just think that's the coolest thing in the world. And if they don't, that's the wrong girl. She's after money, you know? So that's another subject. I'll get off that one, but
Yeah, no, I got excited. I understand. I took my girlfriend to the roof of her apartment building just because I knew the sun was going down and I knew the sky was clear. Up on the 5th floor, 6th floor, I guess, if you consider the roof. And I was just like, hey, look over there. You got the mountains. It's a clear sky looking out over the Puget Sound. The sun's getting ready to dip below the mountains. Everything's pink right now. So I was like, let's just sit and enjoy this. It wasn't expected. She didn't anticipate any of it. And that's I don't know. I'll never be able to offer a moment like that again. That has no value.
right. But it's unbelievable. I mean, something that wasn't expensive is memories. Memories last. That's the same thing I'm telling people. Why are you stuck in your business not selling more? And that's why I brought it up on dating even. You got to get out of that normal every day a guy's used to coming to you because you're open from 9 to 5 and that's it and blah, boring. No, get out of that. You got to. I've seen people that do car sales they've taught me lessons I never would have thought of. They said today only from 2 till 6, we're going to give you a free insurance deal for 1 year, or we'll give you something that nobody will ever do. I mean, it's like a step out of the box. It makes people want to come just to see, what are you talking about? They grab your attention. It can't be like free food. Who cares? They'll come and just steal that just to get food. They need to sell. They don't need nobody to eat a burger. They want to sell. Of course, that's business. So
I've
how
seen
do they
the
get
lotto deals? The car companies now releasing these lotteries, saying, "Oh, hey, you've won this much money off a car. Come in, turn it in. If you've won, you get like $5,000-$6,000 sometimes off of
Right,
a very expensive car." But yeah,
or 0 down, 0 interest? That's because car dealers are having major problems. I mean,
yeah,
that's not a good sign, And I tell people, sorry, y'all. If you want to buy a new car, don't be the fool, because that's the moment you buy it, you lost money. You lost over 30% of the value the moment you drive off the lot. Get a demo or get something that's a year old, and you're not losing much the moment you buy it, because you have to sell it. Excuse me, you can get your money back pretty quick.
The good thing about it, demos, it's been driven, it's been tested, it's been broken in. So anything it's less likely that something new is going to pop up.
I mean, you still get the same warranty. You still get everything, but it's not that high dollar. Cars to me is a joke. You could have bought houses back then for what cars cost now. Now houses, what in the world? So where you were in Texas, what I mean? Texas has gone nuts on houses. My house was barely 180, and that was expensive to me. Now 340, 350 for the same stupid location.
I found a nice spot when I lived in Azle, and I can't understand here. Like I rent on a room in a house for $550 a month. When I lived in Texas, I rented a 2-bedroom house for $850 a month.
Yeah.
If you want to rent a house here, it's like $1,200 to $3,500. And you know what people make here? They make $10 an hour. Maybe 15 if you're lucky.
I don't know how they do it.
They don't. They complain, they get into debt, and then they fall apart. So, like, what I do is I'm trying to find other people to join me with my network marketing, because I do a bunch of different products. I sell legal shield plans for identity theft and any legal issues I can come up with. Like this is nationwide. I can help people not get tickets. I can help people with their divorce, with child law, basically who's going to get the kids, who's going to get the property, all that crap.
Child care. What's that called? The monthly payments. You get a divorce, how much you got to pay for your childhood?
Yeah, that's crazy. Like child support.
Oh, that's nuts.
We do things for that too. But the idea is that the model itself helps people out, but it's too much to sign up. I mean, if you want to make a payment to become an associate and sell it, it's like $300. So what I did was find other products that were lower tiered. That way I can start people up at a lower income, and then they could build up to maybe something better like that.
Well, here's something a lot of people don't think about. How big is the city you live in?
I live in Shoreline, but it's next to Seattle.
I mean, but how big is Seattle? What's the biggest city? Seattle?
It's a good question.
I really don't know. I mean, how big is the population there?
It's nothing I've paid attention to. It's the Seattle population.
I mean, it has to be over 10,000, right?
Oh yeah, six. Is it 600,000?
I mean, that's quite a bit of people. So how many big buildings and hotels are there? Quite a bit, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Somebody has to be pretty rich to own those. So there is a lot of money there. People don't think. There are rich people there.
There you go. That's a picture of our skyline. You can see all the big buildings.
Yeah, well, that's a big one. Yeah, now what I'm saying as a joke is every city, every place, I mean, just that spaceship one y'all have, that is worth so much money. You know,
Yeah, the Space Needle.
It's been threatened to be bombed so many times you don't want to know.
It's actually been built to withstand an airplane.
Well, it's not an airplane. They're talking about bombs. Yeah, but it's crazy.
Well, bombing it would be hard. The thing's made of solid steel. The base is concrete that goes like.
They're just trying to be mean, you know. That's what I'm saying. These terrible people are trying. But see those monster buildings you have? Yeah. You've had famous movies. You've had all kinds of stuff there. Yeah, so there's a lot of money. There is a lot of money over there. You need to maybe aim for the higher dollar people because they have no problem with the money. You just need to believe in it more and then help them. And the ones that don't have the money, you still can help them. But you need to look for the more higher dollar value people that will help you become that. Because once you have, I'll say, what if you built up just 100 people and they all spent the most expensive part out of it? Would that be a pretty good profit?
Yeah. I don't make money signing up people as an associate though. I make money signing up people for the product and the service.
That's what I'm saying.
Product and service, it's not.
Well, they don't need the associate. They're already rich. Why do they need to sell? They just want to have something to help them save in case something happens.
Yeah, and that's only $40 a month.
That's what I'm saying.
So they can afford it.
So if I'm correct, that's $4,000 a month you'd be making if you got 100 people.
I make $140 off of every sale.
Oh, I thought no. Every month though, you only make $40 a month, correct?
No. They spend $40, but I make a year's residual off of it.
Oh, so they pay you all up front?
Yeah, until the next year.
Oh, okay.
The next year rolls around.
I wasn't sure if it's monthly or yearly. Well,
I get paid daily. As long as I'm making sales, I make that money that day.
But I know I'm just trying to help you with the numbers because I was big at multi-level. I learned I made 10% off of every dollar they did. So if they spent $100, and I made, that would be $10 a person. Okay. And I built up to be, I'll just put it at an even number, 3,500 people. Okay. Is what I built up to be. That's $35,000 a month. It's not bad. That wasn't bad. I had a free car, a house payment, and getting a check was not bad. I never was up to 30,000. I was not too far from there, but the thing is it taught me something I never thought. I never thought I could make that kind of money. My mind did not understand that until it took a whole bunch of little ones. Just like I say in Coca-Cola, only makes you 10 cents maybe a Coke, but they sell over $500 million a day. I mean, it's crazy. Oil. Right. Have you ever noticed how the oil industry works? People don't even understand how powerful. Those people make $1 billion profit every day. Every day. How in the world do we not notice that? I mean, it's just a demand. Water is fixing to become one of the highest volume incomes of anything in the world.
Yeah, California's been circumvented by the Gulf Stream, and that's not going away. People think it's the global warming, but it's actually not. The government's trying to tie into global warming because it's going to be this big thing that comes out. But the Earth's rotation has shifted, which it does. It's natural. I mean, if you look where the sun raises and lowers, it's not lowering and raising in the same spots anymore. So because of that shift, there's a high pressure system just outside of Washington that pushes all of the air that used to hit Washington and California over to the Midwest. That's why it's so cold and snowy out there now. So,
well, here, real quick.
It's crazy stuff.
Let's go back, answer this little thing real quick. Remember I was asking you, what do you want to do in the 5 years? And then I'll stop recording. But what did you ever think about anything we were talking? What do you think in the next 5 years that really would change your life to where you'd be on another level that you could help people and you could grow, you can move on to the next 5 years after that. But what is your biggest income and what would it really need to be in 5 years? I mean, you need to make a goal because if you don't have a goal, there's no way to make it. You got to know.
I do have a goal. They're baby steps. My current goal, I'll just plan them out, is just to be able to have a house and be able to have my son and take care of him without any time constraints. The money's there. I'm able to drive him to school, spend time with him. If he's in school, I could be working and doing what I need to do. Am I doing my entrepreneur stuff? But I want to be able to take care of him and the people around me. So, I mean, 5 years from now, I want to be able to lift everyone up in my life out of the hole that they're in any way that I can, whether it be through coaching and guidance and teaching or financially.
All right, that's good. Here, let me do this real quick and I'll stop. All right, everybody, we've been on this thing for quite a while. Thank you for watching. And if you have any questions, please come back and maybe, text me or go to my Facebook site, ask me anything. I sell coaching. I do mentoring. I help people improve their websites. I help people get better traffic. I show people how to sell your products. That's all I want to do. I'm not asking you to give me money and you get nothing back. I want to help you change and improve your goals and your plans. So if and when I do hear from you, I will be looking forward to hearing your story, and we'll go on from there. And I can't wait to see y'all.